beliefs that shape our view. BX has got the facts for you. BX the storyteller, bringing the spark, no one does it better. BX, you've heard the rest, but she's the best, yeah, she's the best. From ancient tales to modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams. With every word.
Good afternoon. Thank you for doing your daily heart me. I received a message yesterday. Well, yeah, and we were talking about something else, and then I think they were saying how they missed my live. I'm well. And I was like, I'm gonna try to go live more often because I'm realizing even the safe spaces aren't safe spaces, right? Infiltrators are allowed to sit in their rooms. So we need like a real tether-free space where, a whole Jamaican ain't in there just listening to everything, never in a Caribbean room. I don't have time for it. Especially if we're about scholarship. So now understanding and seeing everything that we're reading or studying, which leads me to this. I was looking at my, so I have OneDrive, right? So if you have Microsoft, you are familiar with OneDrive. And you could save a lot of things in there. Hi, Basic. Y'all could join the panel if y'all want. And there's a lot of, and I typed in Black History for the search engine because I know I got some pretty cool memes that I can post and, add the music effects and stuff, as my Black History contribution. A lot of them were Pan-African, y'all, because they old, right? But it's our history. And I was like, dang. But I did find some pretty cool ones. I found Malcolm X quotes and I wanted to double check the quote, but it said, I'm black first, my allegiance is black, my people, whatever. That thing there, I'm paraphrasing. So Malcolm X at a time, and I really do want to check this quote, was saying he was black first. Now, we do have Malcolm X scholars. I mean, everything y'all do will be researching Malcolm X. Hey, Soulaan, how are you? Hi, Chris. Hey, Basic. Y'all can join the panel if you want. So y'all could come up and tell me if I got it correct, because it is an old meme, and sometimes people will change wording to view or fit their narrative. Hey, Basic.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
What's going on?
Nothing, making my rounds, pissing off some people.
Pissing off some people. Well, some people have pissed me off. But not today. Today I'm well. Yesterday, my day ended pretty good. My sister came to sit with me. We had some, she bought me some shrimp and, from a new soul food restaurant up by where my parents live. But she's in the South, so she came up with her daughter. And it's amazing that my niece, right, even though me and my sister was born here, she was born in Florida. My sister's in the military, so they based out in Georgia now. But they come here, and my niece wants to do tourist shit. Like, look at big skyscrapers and imagine her living there. And I'm like, dang, But I'm with it. She has big dreams. She's 22 in her 20s, and she came up with her best friend. And my sister's like, the only way y'all going forward is having roommates. But it's just really weird when my family come up from the South, if they used to live here, and want to do tourist shit. I'm like, why you want to go to the Statue of Liberty? Damn it, we went in school, but
Yeah.
So it was cool. And she wants to be like a surgeon assistant and stuff like that. So she's actually getting tutored for that because she's having problems with one of her requirements. So I'm like, she gonna make it, because who gets a tutor? You know what I'm saying? You get a tutor, you really dedicated. So our children, and they definitely foundational, right? So our children are still doing amazing things and taking the time and dedication, hey going world, to go into fields that we need, caring and understanding, but she gotta know her shit. My sister was explaining to me how intricate it is. Hey, Simon. So this is just like, I'm not putting up any prompts. We do have, this is the vent session. This is basically going to be tether free. And my bioethics better be on code when they enter this room. I'm a little tired of the American Indians. I understand that we do have American Indian ancestry. But please be on code on the panels. For the most part, the ones I surround myself with are on code, but it's the other ones. So I've been clearing my followers list. Although my page is private, I never took the old people off that shouldn't be on my followers list, right? So I got foreign flags showing up, feathers showing up, and and every time I clear my list, TikTok tells me I gotta wait 24 hours because I've done cleared so much. Those of the lineage who say they're of the lineage, but I see some type of weakness in them, meaning tethers first, they off my list. I just, was scrolling and sending things to the people that I feel would do videos and stuff about the topics, because I don't do videos, right? This is my stage here, my niche here, interviewing and holding panels and then putting it on a larger platform for others to hear. I love the lineage, but at the first time, I'm not going to put a whole infiltrator first who already called 3 foundational Black American women liars. Y'all can do that if y'all want. That's not my style. And so what I was thinking about, Basic, was your question. Do we delineate in the bedroom too? Would we like to have that as a topic now? But I'm starting to see a need for it. Because can you think or understand that your partner may still have an allegiance to their country? And I make no secret of it. My children's father was an immigrant when we met, right? So there was no cool hurt. There was no put on that hip hop. Very proud Jamaican. He did use the Yankee word, y'all. So I don't make no secret of it. And then I think about his time here over the years, how he did how do I say it? Transition into maybe wearing Nikes, or wearing the latest sneakers, but the colors were different than what you would find. Like he would like those bright colors, and it's really weird because my children, if I would allow them to pick out their own outfits when we going shopping, they like them wild colors too. But as adults, they kind of got out of that, you know. I be looking at my children like, do y'all look Jamaican? Like, what's going on with y'all? For the most part, I think
they could just be from Detroit.
Detroit dresses like that?
Oh, yeah,
Detroit,
they
and they have Detroit FBA coming at me. I make all disclaimers. People are responsible for what they say out their mouth. Okay.
I know folks.
Thank you for the gifts, John. The likes.
They like wearing like wild color suits and whatnot, and wild color clothes. So I've seen
you know
there.
What's weird? We did have an ancestor. So my granny's family, which would be their great grandmother. So my fourth great grandmother has children, of course. One of her children I found out during genealogy. Hi, Larita. Migrated from Alabama to Detroit.
Oh, that was one of my migrations.
Huh?
I actually have family. They migrated from Alabama specifically to Detroit.
Were they listed as Creole?
No.
No.
Now, some of them might have be listed as like mulatto. Some of them were definitely classified as like Negro.
Because my fourth great granny is listed as a Creole on one, like the first instance I ever saw her on, and then it goes to mulatto and stuff. But you know, the census takers, they did what they want to at times based off of the way they viewed them. So that's how I realized that Detroit may have, when we talk about the Creoles, we always think of New Orleans, right? But there was a North Carolina Creole community, and then so my fourth great grandmother was born in North Carolina in 1815. Somehow I find her on the 1870 census in Alabama. So I don't know what was going on with that, right? Or when she even got to Alabama. But then one of her children then migrated to Detroit. The rest kind of stayed in Alabama until, I'm going to say, the 1900s? And then, you know, they start migrating to New York. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, no, they fell in love with somebody from North Carolina, and the family made the decision to go to New York. Okay. But I shouldn't really be getting into all those migration paths, right? But I guess it's safe as long as I don't say my family's name. So yeah, like New York roots, we always talk about the Carolinas, but there's other migration paths that I'm not going to be willing to say here because I do put my lives on YouTube. So New York is I'm starting to just be really frustrated with fucking New York. But I'm going to tell you, my sister, my uncle used to call her Annette Funicello, right? And she going to hear this, right? And I guess that's an old time white teen woman who was in the entertainment industry. So we used to both be like very like, people used to call me white tea girl because of the way that I would say, hello, the way I used to call people on the phone, may I please speak to it? They'd be like, what type of shit is that? May I please use your bathroom? I'm like, damn, that's called having manners, right? But my sister, for the most part, I didn't think that she would like my content, like the videos that I do upload on, or the panels that I do upload on YouTube. And she was like, I love your stuff. Like, it's really interesting. I didn't know all that stuff was going on. I'm like, wow, okay. So that's cool to get the stamp from Big Sis, you know? Hey, Nikki. But this is also a vent session, so we don't have to stick to my topic or what I'm talking about. Y'all could decide if y'all want to touch on the topic. I'll turn the music down. Thank you, Nikki, for the gifts. Basic.
Yeah, so... yeah, you already know I believe in delineating when it comes to marriage and procreating. because I haven't really seen enough people outside of our lineage of the so-called black race who are on code. Like it's extremely rare that I come across them who are on code and actually, prioritize black Americans. So I think it's detrimental to the community now and in the future, especially for what we're trying to do. I think right now, um I think forever, honestly, like we should just be with our own people. I think that cuts out a lot of confusion and issues because I do notice that a lot of bi ethnics do have like this. Um, it's like a inner conflict when it comes to these situations. Like they feel like they gotta pick a side. They don't want to have to pick a side and all this type of things. And I think I wouldn't want my children to feel like that. So and I'm glad that I'm not in that position where I gotta pick a side or something, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to know how they feel. So yeah, I think we should definitely prioritize being with our own people.
I agree too. Because you make it harder for the child to have to go back and forth. Well, it's like I say that, but then again, I see
DJ and
other
everybody that
people,
entered
but
the room. Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
no, you fine because I know you're trying to make sure you acknowledge everybody. But it's like I'm more I still see it as something that's more so beneficial for the next and future generations, not having to um, feel like they're in a way having to choose one side, or they feel like they're obligated to one's plight versus another. Um, and then if they having to be raised by one particular side, which is the opposite of the Black American family, it's so many different dynamics that kind of come to mind. Um, like it's specifically if they're um, trying to think more so the melanated immigrant like background coming here to America. Um, I think it's more so beneficial for them to just kind of stay within our specific culture, um, like within the Black American culture. So it wouldn't be nothing like having to look on to like another side. Now, I can't look down at somebody if they already have, um, like they've already have a family, they already have found someone that they were with, but they kind of just awakened to the lineage and they've awakened to all of the hurtful tactics towards their specific our lineage, but the person that they're with, they're wanting to actively not um tear you down, and they're wanting to advocate for our people, something of that nature. I don't see it as
Hi,
an issue.
Ronnie.
But if you have someone who you're already with, they're not looking into that, then you need to let them go. Um,
You finished the Black American House? I choose Spirit.
can you hear me? Because I think it might. In this.
I heard you when I heard you.
Okay, okay. I know this internet's kind of going in and out here, and it's been.
It is.
I noticed it was when I got to New York. It's just been snowing. Not snowing, but it was like snow all over the city. So I don't know if that could be the why it's moving a little bit slower.
Yeah, it kind of cut off a little bit because he just got one red bar and it cut off a little bit towards the end.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me try to see if I can get this.
I always do this.
What happened to your background,
I
BX?
I don't
Oh,
know. I was trying to go on mute real quick, because my son was calling me, and then y'all might just have to deal with this peach type of background. Let me see. Hold on.
It won't let you drag your photo back up.
oh, you can drag now.
Yeah, I've seen people drag.
It keeps pulling up. I might have to wait till the comments go up. It keeps pulling up. Oh, there we
Oh,
go. Thank you. Because I kept
okay.
hitting it and trying to drag it, and then it went to give True Spit a comment. Then it went to give Wani a comment, and I was just like, oh
Yeah.
man.
All right, so yeah, it's
Thank
back up
you.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks better.
Thank you. Y'all can join the panel if you want. My room is a safe space. I try to keep out the immigrants, the tethers. No offense,
Yeah, I
but
just went in.
the feathers be getting on my nerves lately. I don't go in their room, and a lot of rooms to me, I'm gonna say is compromised right now.
Yeah,
Yes, that's why
And
I'm at the point where I like coming up here because some of the other stuff is just like I'm just kind of at the point I just don't. We don't really need to get a lot of feedback from other cultures right now. We kind of need to. We've done too much of trying to focus on everybody else. It's time for us to kind of focus on ourselves. And if they're wanting to like teach their family how to not mess up what we got going on, that's the most that they can do. Outside of that, they need to kind of leave us the hell alone.
yeah, we got some of our people who are cold. Like this one dude, I actually made a post about him, a screenshot of his page. His name is Spaz Out something, and I was in his space, and this nigga got Mandinka as a freaking mod. I'm like, how the hell you talking delineation in FBA and you got Mandinka as a mod, dude? And he got mad at me for calling him out for that. Talking about some, if I don't like it, I can leave. I'm like, nigga, these people weird as hell, man.
But I've noticed some of these I started studying what you were talking about, BX. Some of these profiles that used to have feathers and now they taking them out, and then also a lot of these people who used to have like the flags on their bio from their different countries, and you don't see it no more. You gotta actively look for their videos where they're talking about their family being from like Ghana or Trinidad or wherever they're from the UK, but they've live in America now or wherever they fled to. The double fleeing. That might need to be something I need to coin. Double fleeing, where they come to like the UK or Canada and then they come here.
He said from
what you
Canada.
talking about?
Oh yeah, there will be because it's a lot of people who come from like Jamaica. I'm trying to think where else. Various people from African nations that go to Canada or the UK and then they come over here or like Guyana. Because I know someone who they were born in the UK, but their father was from Guyana. Their mother was YT, and then their father left like right after they were born back to Guyana, and then like as they were kind of reconnected once he became an adult. Um, I'm trying to remember. He
Yeah, the
actually
dude named
moves to
Uncle
Georgia.
Moose. The dude named
Hmm.
Uncle Moose. I think he lives in Canada or something.
Oh wow.
And he one of the worst. I haven't seen him across my feed in a while now. It's been a couple months probably. But yeah, he made he got all his followers from spreading a whole bunch of anti-black American stuff. And I heard that he's a traveling nurse or something like that in Canada.
That's
And see,
crazy to me. That I'm sorry. That
no,
was
I'm sorry.
I'm starting to notice a whole bunch of. Now I know the Caribbean was in Canada because in Toronto that's where Jamaicans usually go, right? However, I'm starting to see an uptick in these Africans, no matter the nation, with Canadian flags, and I feel offended. I feel because we got the Nova Scotians up there, and let me tell you, I have yet to see, and it might happen because once I say I don't see it start happening, right? I don't see the Nova Scotians on this app bothering us like the Liberians bother us. And everybody in the UK and now Canada feel they should join our panels when it say immigrant. How that concern you? We talking about the ones that come here. Because what I think is they go to Canada and the UK first because America, and I know it's a mess here, is kind of hard with their selective criteria. At least that's the way I thought. I'm going to say it's a theory, right? Because everybody wants to come here. They call us the most powerful country in the world. Why would you go to the UK or Canada? So it's something about our selection criteria that these people aren't able to pass. But they all up in our motherfucking business. And I'd be like, where you from? You got a Canadian flag. Oh, you really Nigerian? What are you doing on this pan? Why are you bothering us? It don't concern you in no way. And they all feel so emboldened to get their ass on this app and join our panels. It's really aggravating to me.
A lot of them get I'm telling you, the Pan Africans, they put a batter in these people back. And I think the Pan Africans are literally the biggest issue because they validate these people, especially the Africans. If they didn't have no validation from Black Americans at all, like they do with the Pan Africans, I don't believe a lot of stuff will be happening, to be honest with you.
Tap the screen for me, guys. Let me tell you something. I agree with you. I believe you may not have been in the room, but I have Microsoft, right? The app, and it has OneDrive, and I have a lot of pictures from when I was, under the Pan-African ideology, and I typed in the search bar there, Black History. A lot of good stuff came up, except it's attributed, some, not many, of the things that I wanted to post were attributed to Africa. To, like, there's one that says, our history didn't begin with slavery. Slavery interrupted African history. And I'm like, damn. Like, so, and then they have one, it'll talk about the ancestors and stuff, but it'll be like the RBG colors. And it's just a lot of Africa-centered stuff, or centering our history, centering it and tethering on to Africa. So I can see the harm of Pan-Africanism, especially in the course of my life during a certain period, because I just want to, post some stuff, and it got that stuff there. I can't, in good conscience, post it. I do want to ask my meme makers, can you do stuff like this and send them the picture and see if they can kind of correct some stuff? So, because they got some really dope memes, but it's a lot of African RBG flags, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I'll be making my little shots off of chat.
Well, you make some nice stuff, and what I'm seeing is people stepping into making videos now on different topics, and I really love to see it.
Yeah, them videos, man. For right now, unless they using like an international service or something, I know it costs some money, especially if you're making the ones without the name of the app on there, and the ones that have, like, they're not short. I mean, yeah, you're paying like a membership for that, and it ain't cheap.
Yeah.
That's true. I know my son was using Power Director, and then it's an extra fee to remove the watermark.
Yeah,
I
you
was
gotta
using
pay to get that
Canva too, and it
watermark on.
started tweaking on me.
I mean,
Oh,
I kind of use Sora because it comes with the Chat GPT because it's both of them made by OpenAI. But
right.
I don't use it a whole lot though. Like I got on there. I think I probably made like one video maybe, uh, and I downloaded it maybe a month and a half ago. So I'm gonna get
Me
on there and
too.
see. I'm gonna get on there and see. But AI, I ain't gonna lie, like the videos, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like we going down a dark path with that.
I feel we're at um the precipice of getting new legislation that's going to change how AI is regulated. I think that's where we're going to be heading down because we got to have some type of regulation because it can definitely get out of hand with AI. Have already been seeing it. I've seen it even before this large like scale, I guess, wave that we have now with AI, because it's really gotten out of hand. Because before all of these other apps and Open AI and Sora and Chat GPT, there were other people who had like a lot of wealth that were already using AI before all of that, and they've been fooling the masses
Oh yeah, they always
using it for
yeah, the wealthy
misinformation.
always
Hi
had access
D.
to shit before us.
Mm-hmm.
So this is old technology to them. And I don't know, man. Like I see some of it and it's cool, but then I always think about the negative side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I see folks doing like AI videos of themselves, like walking through different Black American sitcom sets, and they taking selfies with some of the legends like Martin and the Crew and Fresh Prince and Sanford and Son. Like it's cool. Yeah, man. Like it's some cool little stuff that they be doing. And I'd be like, man, but on the flip side, I'm pretty sure you can do some nefarious shit with that too.
Oh, I've seen stuff where they will make it look like someone gave them a public apology. Make somebody say, I'll let you kiss my age." Like I've seen, and it looks very
Thank you,
realistic.
D.
Yeah, it'd be extreme. Hey, it's funny when I'm scrolling, and I always know when it's D's panel, just literally just by the by the prompt, because D be having like the bruh, D prompts be funny as hell. Like he'll have something like "Why are Africans so dumb?"
Oh my god! You well every the amount of people who are on doggone Medicaid in this state here, and the way they be asking stupid questions that they should have that they should know, but they want to talk about us speaking proper English. I won't ever forget this doggone African. Whew, I'm supposed to be relaxing. Hold on. That really kind of.
Yeah, it'd
Yeah,
be tough.
I only have a problem with his profile pictures, but I tell him to. I look at it and I say, "Now, D, you know I got a weak stomach. Why you doing that to me?" The one he got there is pretty nice though. I'm gonna say this: they they know how to scam, right? But it's something about
It's
their comprehension. They don't grasp things the way that we do.
they don't.
It's definitely comprehension because man, and that's why I told people I said either the little IQ stuff is true or these people are literally professional time wasters. Like they'll have you like speaking in circles with them for hours if you let them.
Hmm. I know. I've had to hang up on some of them, and because it's just so interesting. I think about some of the different people I have interacted within this particular state of New York, and
Always
Some
New
of the
York. Always New York. I'm gonna
no,
go
I'm
New York.
not like down in New York. It's not even that because it's not just New York. I could talk about Philadelphia.
I was
I could
joking. I was joking.
because I mean Maryland. I feel like it's even crazy. It's probably about on the same level as here, and that's technically the South, but it's still. I guess from me being from like Georgia and Tennessee and Alabama, it's not the same. A lot of folks from like that region don't see it as like South, but it's still
D
technically
from
the.
Maryland. Why you drop D?
What is
He
that
probably
like?
said, I don't want to hear this shit
What you talking
today.
about,
Because
Texas?
I be doing that too. Like, I don't want to hear this shit. And one day I jumped on was it Black Americans panel? And then I realized it said, Welcome to Tetherville, New York. Like, and I was like, damn. Because
Because in
sometimes I be,
Manhattan,
no,
Lord.
I was talking about was on a panel in a New
Mhm.
York tether, was up there getting on his last good nerve, I guess, for the day, right? And you come back to your room and then you get to make whatever prompt you want. But there's a lot of times I just run in the room that I'm comfortable with and jump on the panel without reading the prompt. And I'm up there talking and I look and I'm like, damn. I'm like, damn. But at this point, I can't fight that. I was swinging for my life against misbehavior. He was like, yeah, New York got a lot of time. I was like, but we don't have the most. Nah, not us. They just the loudest. And one day I said, go ahead, BS. Just do a research, right? So while we do have a slightly larger margin over the Afro descendant immigrants,
Mhm.
we have the most immigrants here. I think even foreign born, and right behind us is Florida.
Oh
And then
yeah,
I believe they mentioned Texas, Maryland, stuff like that.
Massachusetts. You can't forget them because that was the place
Hey,
they
Keita.
were giving them free Lyft and Uber rides off of the tax dollar.
Thank you for the daily heart meet. Wait, Boston was giving the immigrants
Yes,
that?
in Boston,
The most
free
rate?
like using tax dollars to pay for migrants to like illegal migrants specifically to get free Lyft and Uber rides. They were
Hey,
taking
fam. Keita says, hey, y'all. Go ahead.
hey, um,
But Boston is very, well, from what I know, back in the days, it was very racist. Correct?
mhm.
It still is.
That's what they gotta love. Hey, but it was all immigrants, right? Not just the melanated immigrants, right?
Yeah, they probably got a lot of the white immigrants up there. But if they can use the immigrants for whatever it is, even if they call themselves being Republican, a lot of them probably be letting them people work for them for cheap under the table and all types of stuff.
Oh yeah, oh
And they
yeah.
marry them too.
Because a lot of Ukrainians, they'll bring them to New York, or Ukrainians and other Eastern Europeans, they'll treat them like if you in Texas or Arizona getting some Mexicans or some Guatemalans, they get paid just as cheap like that. Except they ain't going to Home Depot and Lowe's, and you getting to pick them out. You gotta go to like certain parts of Brooklyn or or Manhattan.
Hey, BX,
I realized, uh-huh.
I'm starting to see some Africans, man.
Where in my timeline? In
Nah,
the room?
in Memphis. I'm
Oh,
starting.
and you know
In
what though?
Memphis?
Yeah, I'm starting to see
Listen,
them.
because one day I was on a panel, there was somebody up there swearing she wasn't African, but I know a lot of them because they've been on the app for a while. They go away or out of my eyesight and they venture back into our room. So I was talking about how they were buying historical black churches in Philly, and we were discussing that. And then she was talking about how they are looking. Did she say Mississippi or Memphis? But she mentioned a real. When you
It was
mention the name
It's
Memphis
Mississippi.
and Mississippi, that's really, really like even to other people, that's the
Yeah, I heard
South,
about it in
right?
Mississippi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she was like, at first she was saying, yeah, we buying land out there, and then she was like, well, why don't y'all just buy the church and buy the this and buy the oh my God, if I can wring
Yeah.
their neck.
And that's why certain stuff I don't even talk about online.
Right.
But like it's certain places because to me, when I talk to these Africans, bro, I feel like a lot of them be fishing for information. That's why
Mhm.
I won't even I won't mention like where my family is from a lot of times, and that's why I unpinned a video that me and you was talking on before because it is 100% Black American towns that are still around. You know what I'm saying? And
Like
I
in
believe,
Georgia, like in
yep,
Alabama.
in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, it's a lot of them. It's a whole lot of them, and it's
All
some
right,
up
but don't
north
say
too.
this because I put my panels on YouTube.
Oh,
So
okay,
far,
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
no
But see, I ain't
Africans
gonna.
bothering me over there.
Yeah, so we still get, and the funny thing is, I mean, they could try, but a lot of our people out there is on code that like ain't no African finna
Mhm.
come through there on nothing. That's why they the Pan Africans actually I'm gonna have to find a video. The Pan Africans tried to start like a Pan African town or something in Mississippi. They got their ass ran up out
Huh?
of there with that. Yeah, they got ran out of there. They got
Keita
ran
said
out
she
of.
remembers us talking about that when talking about how they're buying churches in Philly and starting
Bro.
to try to buy land in the South. Now, I believe that if they could buy land anywhere in the South, it would be like Texas and Georgia, Atlanta
Yeah,
to be
definitely,
specific.
They
definitely
can
Georgia,
go.
definitely Georgia
Um,
because they all through Atlanta from what I hear.
Yeah,
I
they
wanted
do. Memorial Drive, Buford Highway. That's
I
where
wanted to speak
they
on
flock.
Mississippi. In
Hmm.
Mississippi, I was just talking to Kyla, and she said that we was on Portis Live, and this girl named APTTV. She was saying how that all little white tea town they building in Mississippi, it's like not doing good, and it's like about to plummet. So it's a black town right next to them that's doing good and have like taxes and stuff like that and leftovers. Why they said this white tea town is trying to sue the black town or either trying to get something done where the black town have to give them their taxes to help them build their town that they wanted to segregate themselves from.
Huh?
You
Isn't
said
that
No,
you
is
said
this
this
a
was in
recent
Mississippi.
segregated town or a
yes?
different?
No, recent segregate not right in Mississippi right now.
I'm gonna have to look into this because I definitely want to see where this at.
Wow.
I
It's
want to see where this is at
yeah.
because majority, at least from where my folks is at, all them little towns that I go through to get down there, all black. Um, so I need to know what part of Mississippi this from. This is at or whatever. It might be southern Mississippi is what I'm thinking, or going towards southern Mississippi.
Like Natchez.
Yeah, it's like a rural, not a, like a rural area, like a small, like they starting to try to develop it. But they said it's not doing good at all. And so they're complaining. They're complaining now because they wanted to separate themselves out, because they was all combined and now they wanted to separate themselves, but their part is
Yeah.
not flourishing. Isn't that something else, the
That's
audacity?
funny. That's funny, but I support it, man. I want them to delineate, get the hell away from our people.
Right.
Just get the hell away.
I'm
But
tired of bailing
the thing
everybody else
is,
out, y'all.
what
Yeah, I
the
support that too, but don't ask us for nothing, and don't
hell
try to
no.
start no trouble with us, and don't try to mess our stuff up because you decided to do that. Mind tend to your business.
Yeah, that's the ticket though. Our people, when we get our own, we have to prioritize protection. We got to prioritize having some type of militia or something like that to protect because they don't always come. Whenever they fail, they need somebody to blame other than themselves. And that's what African people and white people got in common. Whenever they fail,
Hmm.
whenever they fault, they always want to call somebody else, especially Black Americans. They gonna always blame Black Americans, even when we ain't got shit to do with it.
We
Hi,
need to have.
Mary. hmm So I'm opposed to them asking us for help too. I do recall, and I'm opposed to us always having to bail them out. Hey, nobody. I'm opposed to us always having to bail them out. I also remember, and I forget the town. There was like a school or a school district. Salute nobody. Um, and they wanted to break away from that school, but what they were doing were taking the new say computer lab that was built and all this other stuff. It was a big to do about it. I believe they even went to court over it. So I'm opposed to all of that. Give us the resources that we need, or that we, because you know what they'll do. What I believe they do is wait until we get things specific that's supposed to be, because they underserved. So give the black students this and that, and then the white part of the demographic of the school will try to break away or something, or it goes to them. Oh, and nobody says we aren't in other countries taking resources from them. We're actually not, and I do. Go ahead.
We aren't. And I can speak on that because I know a lot of black executives, black people who are in tech or just remote workers in general, regardless to like their industry, who are traveling abroad. We ain't taking resources. Actually, we adding to their economy. We a lot of times being invited to their country to make it a better place. Unlike in the reverse with a lot of these other, what would be an immigrant here.
Facts. That's crazy. Oh, and BX, one thing, remember we was talking about the trying to see like who was running where. I got the website that we can look on, and it got all the states, and it give all the runners in each state under different, like whatever, like Congress, Senate, US representative, mayor, governor.
Mm.
It's called ballotpedia.com.
Okay. That's perfect. That's perfect. So we don't have to do the extra steps. It's all there. So nobody says, you heard what I said? So we don't have to do the extra steps. It's all right there.
Yeah, we don't have to do the
100%.
extra steps. It's all right there.
Thank you. So nobody says, could you spare some time to highlight our leaders during the anniversary of? It's not in our DNA to co-opt or colonize. So I was scrolling today, just because sometimes I'm on, modding so much, I don't get to scroll and see what's going on. And I came across a live that had the book up 1619. And at the bottom, it said African diaspora check-in. So I got mad, right? But what the videos that are coming out now states that the Africans had a bill in Congress asking for September to be their Heritage Month to recognize the diaspora. The Caribbean, we know, have June. So some of our content creators, I'm gonna say influencers, our people, our historians, I could call them historians, they fact checkers, right? And they're checking the government, are doing videos spotlighting that why during Black History Month they're still trying to tether on to us, but they have African Heritage Month. It may be a derivative of that title, and Caribbean Heritage Month, which is in June, conveniently for them, right? Around Juneteenth. And that's why they've been saying Caribbean Juneteenth in New York. My good last nerve. So I sent a screenshot of it because I wasn't going in that room, but I was just literally upset that they're asking for the diaspora to come in there and read about our history starting from 1619. And that's the date. And I never really tapped into the book because I've always read that, the first captives that came here was before 1619. So I'm of the belief the government or their historians will only tell us what they want us to know. So 1619 is their date that they put in, but I think it was written by one of us. And they're not going to 1526 or anything like that. So, but anyway, I'm going to read the book too, because now everybody reading the book and I got to be prepared. But I just really upset that they have their own heritage months, which isn't the issue. The issue is that, and here goes my word, ethnic autonomy, my term rather. Nobody is allowing us ethnic autonomy. Halo came in my live yesterday very upset. And a Latino told her Black History Month wasn't just for Black Americans, it was for all Black people.
Are you serious? That is so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. That'll just like make you want to pop your top. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy work.
Hmm. So what leaders? So TikTok has a feature that they show you your memory. So exactly today, a year ago, I was highlighting the black codes why they were invented, and it's called the Equal Rights League or Justice League, Equal Rights Justice League. So you could find that on my page. It's a highlight, and what I started doing was National Black History 365 because our history don't fit into a month. It's continuous. Um, and so the Equal Rights League, Justice League, came in, I think, after emancipation. I'm gonna pull it up so I can be sitting here
Okay,
sounding
can I?
crazy.
I'm gonna just say this just to
Uh,
burn time while you looking for something. You remember when we was
mm.
on the panel yesterday and that dang on African was up there? It was me, you, Professor Allen, somebody else. We was all on Dynasty page. And remember he just kept trying to pull something. He kept trying to figure like it's like they want to try to find any little thing, anybody that got a drop of Caribbean or I don't know. It's just like they want so bad to be in our foundation. He went all the way back. Like, remember he gave that man name? It was Arthur something, and the professor was like, "You talking about so and so?" And he had to give the rundown on the man and what he did and how much of a traitor and like he just was
Oh, he
not.
gave Marcus Garvey name. Did he give
No, it
Marcus
wasn't Marcus Garvey.
Martin
He tried to say he was a founding father. It was like his name was Arthur something. Remember when we was on Dynasty panel?
Arturo Schomburg? No.
It was like it just was like he was like trying to just like it's just like they just try to weasel their way or just slither their way or just make their way in something. He wanted then we ended up finding out like he was Dominican or I mean British and Caribbean or something he was.
That sounds like Arturo Schoenberg. He was born in
Puerto
Puerto
Rican.
Rico,
Yeah, so
but
he
his
not even
father.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. So it may. So when you say that, it comes to mind that Arturo Schoenberg, who he has a whole learning center in Harlem. He's not technically Puerto Rican, but he was born in Puerto Rico. Like his mother's some type of white tea person, and his father's some other type of black person. Um,
So he was a
and they latch on to him as in New York. Yeah, see, even nobody is saying Arturo Schoenberg. He's a Puerto Rican national, and then he's saying Benedict Arnold.
I don't remember,
Huh?
but he was remember he was like saying he was one of the founding fathers. You feel me? Remember Professor Allen was like he had to like tell him about like who the dude was and how much of a traitor he was. Like I guess he was like adopted too by some white tea man. Remember he was you don't remember when we was on the panel? I can't think
I
of the
think
man name. I'm so irritated. I'm gonna start writing shit down. You feel me?
we're gonna have to, because me
Right?
and you,
It be
I'm up here
so
like
much like
I'm on
I
information
hate when I
overload,
just
as
can't
Lady
go
Tammy
back and
says
say
out
such and
there.
such and such, right? But it be right there in my head. But my point is I just dislike the way that they try to just put somebody that's not of our just they just want to place somebody there and just like no it was such like they'll find the littlest speck and try to just make it like oh, so and so did this, and you know what I'm saying, just to prove that they were somewhere around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, nobody is saying yeah that's Benedict Arnold.
I don't know. I can't remember the name. I can't remember his name. He was, yeah. It just, I don't like that. Like, now they want to be like, oh, since he was of Caribbean descent and he was this and that, like now they want to be like, we were a part of the foundation. You feel me?
Yeah, they did the
Yeah.
same. They do the same with Chicago. They claim some dude was a Haitian and he founded Chicago. See, the thing is, these people believe that is one person that does shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why they think that the DJ Herc dude created. They think this dude came from Jamaica and created hip hop, even though it ain't no hip hop nowhere in Jamaica. So they just
Right.
got like this weird way of thinking, all of them, but it just shows you how desperate they are that they're trying to attach themselves to something that has nothing to do with them. It's literally desperation. And it's also the desperation comes from the fact that a lot of them are paid to do what they're doing. And I guess they have to have some type of results or something because can't nobody in their right mind be trying to make the arguments that they're trying to make. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, these arguments are new. A lot of them. It's like they just popped out the woodwork and started having these weird ass arguments. It's like, dude, when did y'all start thinking like this? Because I ain't never heard these people say some of the stuff they've been saying. So
You know, I have something to offer you. I think that for the most part, if you were, because a lot of people are now saying that in certain regions of the nation, Pan Africanism just wasn't there. It just wasn't in their region. But it sounds like a byproduct of Pan Africanism or harm. So you got to understand that a lot. Well, you don't have to understand because I hate when people tell me that. I'm gonna just say this. A lot of times, Pan Africanism will uphold non FBA over our own and attribute things to Africa, attribute things to Marcus Garvey. And then if you don't do your research and stuff and you thinking that's just the norm because the scholars are telling you that this is what happens, XYZ, you're more than likely to go with it. Now, I think for me, it was easy to pick a side because I was starting to see why my demographic, Black Americans, would have issues with other demographics. And I was amazed that they would really say a lot of the things that they would say. But these other Pan Africans, I just can't get with. Hey, Bureau. So I think that for the Africans, they're wondering why we're no longer calling them. Now, some do believe they're delusions. I mean, no matter what we do, they're always going to think they should come first so that they're superior. They won't take accountability for the erosion, right? Or the one-sidedness of Pan-Africanism. But if you are Black American, we have over 500 years, because they've been telling me 400 since I was a child, 500 years of documented history on this land, ancestors in this soil. And in places like New York, we find burial grounds of our ancestors' towns or settlements that were hidden once everybody started migrating away, or urban renewal destroyed a lot of things like Seneca Village. That's urban renewal for the white tea people. Sandy Ground, and then Weesville, I believe it kind of like faded away, and they had to make and the building started, being old and stuff, so they made a replica of it, and we have that area and stuff like that. So I think for the most part, we have to understand we still have hidden history. And there goes Tyreek's museum, right? Hidden History Museum. We still have hidden history in certain regions of our nation, and they are in African. So I think the Africans, the Pan-Africans, all of them, if they want to go to Africa because they feel and it resonates with them, I'm not opposed to them going there. But what I am opposed to is look at the American flag. Do you know that as a Pan-African, we didn't like that flag? And the ones who are still in Pan-Africanism probably still don't like that flag. But what's the history behind that flag? Because Sister Wolfie tells it all the time. Grace Wisher,
Yeah.
a free Black American child, and her mother was a seamstress, made that flag. And we gonna hate that flag?
Ain't that
To
something
me,
else?
that was a form of self-hate,
Period.
right?
Right.
I see the new people that came into the room. Hi, 313, Rap DNA, and I forget the other names, forgive me. Yeah, so I got the information about the Black codes, right? So that came during a period of Reconstruction, right after emancipation, right? And it states Black Americans resisted Black codes through political organization, community building, and petitions to Congress. Many Black American veterans of the Union Army, often still armed, actively resisted the codes through community organizing, protests, and self-defense, sometimes forming informal groups to protect their rights, especially in the face of white supremacist, violence. Notable example include the Equal Rights Leagues, which emerged during the Reconstruction across the South. So we did have people who weren't always nonviolent. They were armed. They were former soldiers, and they battled it out through the South. and organize politically too. So I always say that we have to look to the past to see what the ancestors, elders, and our great activists, leaders did, our master scholars, teachers, and we take what worked and what hasn't. And to tell you the truth, being in New York, seeing what we're facing at our reparations hearings, how we're not getting anything, how it's a double, triple, quadruple erasure here. Political organizing is best for us locally. Because I ain't gonna fight with anybody about the presidential, but I gotta tell you, locally, we getting beat out because Yvette Clarke is here. AOC is here. We got Richie Torres, a whole Afro-Latino on a Black caucus of New York. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus, who I never heard say Black and Brown, has showed up to our reparations hearings. And then there's this new Black, Latino, and Asian caucus. So, and then there's all these nonprofit organizations for the Haitians that's coming to
Hold
my attention.
on. You said Black and Asian?
We can't
I
have
said
nothing
Black,
to
Latino,
ourselves.
and Asian.
So they got all
Wow.
of their stuff, but attached to our stuff. So nothing is all ours. It's everything that is included for us. It has something attached to it, but they have their own individuals on the side as well. It seemed like.
Correct. And I'm gonna let that marinate while I read nobody's comment. He's clarifying, we're giving more clarity on the Black code. So he says oh God, the Black codes criminalize our leisure time, and yet these folks think this time is tough. He's comparing the Black code's time to here with the immigrants. That's another thing. And as we go forward with reparations or demanding any tangibles from our government, all that AOC, who is Black anyway, in response to us giving her pushback on saying the Mexicans, the Latinos should get reparations, totally skipping over our ancestors' enslavement and going to mass incarceration. But of course, I argue and against her sentiment that the 13th Amendment, which ratified each state's constitution, freed our ancestors, right? Emancipated them in that state, except for if they were incarcerated. So mass incarceration directly impacted our community. And I'm going to say so does the school to prison pipeline, because that's just another form of mass incarceration towards our ethnic group. So why would you even jump right to mass incarceration like we don't have historians or common sense to know that they weren't impacted by it? They willingly came here and did the crime to give them motherfuckers the time. Okay,
Correct.
but we were targeted. We were targeted
Big difference.
to be mass incarcerated. I'm sorry, Keita, go ahead.
No, I was just piggyback. I was just ad-libbing on there. I said that's a big difference. Like that's not the
Yeah.
same. For them to come over here, do crimes, and get caught, they should do double time because you actually came to a country and caused trouble. You feel me? Like it should be like something sensitive for them to not even want to get in trouble because it could be extra. You know, they should get in trouble way more than the natives. For real. Because you just came to our land to cause crime. Like, are you serious? No. It should be like extra penalty. Mm-hmm.
I absolutely agree with you on that because Americans will go abroad. They do something that would be a part of our culture here, but it's not something that's appreciated there. Like I think about that with Brittany Griner having that marijuana over there. They acted a plumb fool about that. And they didn't know when she was going to be coming back to America. But you got folk here acting a fool about getting deported and making it as if they're getting kidnapped when that's not even happening.
Can y'all tap the screen for me? Do the daily heartbeat. I do have a gift goal. Birthday cake because it's still Aquarius season. So 313 whoop whoop. Halo, sister Halo's birthday is Sunday, February 8th. So I don't know if she's gonna have a party anywhere, but be sure if you see her and she's on the piano to please gift her. Shout her out even. You know, I can't tell you how to give, but she's an Aquarius. 313 made me says that's crazy how they skipped over slavery like it means nothing. So let me say this. She mentioned African Americans, or she could have said black, because she said black Latinos are black. Then she mentioned slavery, but she didn't mention our harm group, right? So that was the tether on aspect of her statement. And then she says, because white people were able to be afforded opportunities for wealth, Latinos were impacted like black people. You know, I'm paraphrasing here, because of mass incarceration, but that was her emphasis. So she mentioned slavery, but not in the aspect of U.S. chattel slavery. So to me, she skipped that. She skipped our harm group and us impacted here to tether on the her group. And then when she got pushed back, so I gotta say we did have reparationists giving her pushback. Then she wants to say who's black anyway. So I'm preparing my little email campaign because I stay on her tail too. Because everything is Trump is bad, Medicaid cuts, we can't afford, the immigrants will lose. And then she mentioned in her last town hall call how she was able to build an Albanian school for the for them immigrants. Oh, and
Albania?
man, dummy, did you hear him? He said that the illegal immigrants are citizens too, that covered, and they're going to have access to daycare. I can tell
No,
you
they
my kids are
won't.
grown, but even as a working individual, I did need access to daycare and whatever voucher programs that they had.
So if illegal immigrants can get it, then I mean that means every natural born American should automatically have it. So that must mean free healthcare for everybody then? Because that's got to be what that means, right?
Right.
Because how can any immigrant have any kind of healthcare and any kind of American is
Not
paying for
healthcare,
theirs?
daycare, daycare.
Daycare.
Yeah.
Oh, so every American get free daycare first.
I don't know if it's free, but we do have voucher programs. So they're still taking resources in a spot that they probably tell one of our own who, they're not eligible for. But while y'all look, y'all could go ahead and talk, and y'all can join the panel if y'all want. I'm not gonna stay up too much longer, but I want to find AOC's the video of what I'm referencing, so y'all can hear it for yourselves. Okay, I'll be right back.
Why is AOC even like it kind of infuriates me how she is so preoccupied with the mainland up here, but she's not preoccupied with Aqueducto Piare. She ain't preoccupied with Luma when they came in and took over Autoridad Energía Eléctrica, and it was like one of the worst power outages on that island because I was actually living down there at the time when that happened. But she worried about every doggone thing going on up here, worried about illegal immigrants, but she ain't worried about the power outages and water not being like sufficient throughout the entire week. But she worried about this stuff up here. Which, mind you, Luma is a Canadian company. It's not even an American company that came in and took over that company. But she worried about up here?
Let me
And
tell
I
you, I
know it's
don't know
still
what she's
America.
worried about, but I know she worried about the wrong thing. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Luma is doing what? Where is that impacting their water supply? Is that impacting our nation, our communities, or
Uh-uh.
is that Puerto Rico or something?
It's Puerto Rico, and it's the electricity company Luma.
I gotta tell you, I bet you she is worried about it. Because one thing she gonna do is advocate for the Latinos too. But this part of her advocacy directly impacts us. So I'm not
I don't even
saying
see
don't
it.
help your people. I'm saying don't latch your people on to us when you're not supposed to.
That.
And so thank you, 313 for the birthday cake gifts. Hey, Mr. Ether. So I did find the video of AOC. This is courtesy of Afro Elite's live that he had the other morning or was the other evening. And I want to say for educational purposes only, TikTok and YouTube. So I gotta say that. Fair use, fair use.
Fair use, fair
Listen,
use.
listen.
To talk about racism within our community and how we fit both, how we are both impacted by
Fair
racism
use.
in the United States and across the world, but also how it exists within our own communities. And a lot of times I'll hear people say, okay, this is about Black Lives Matter. What about Latinos? And I always say, Latinos are Black. we are Afro-Latina, and we run an entire racial spectrum. And so we have to have conversations around colorism, and we have to have conversations about the African and indigenous roots from which we come and how it's reflected in systems of power, wealth inequality, and frankly, our political system.
Fair use.
I'm trying to see.
1 minute.
One where she said something about giving them reparations, because she sure did say that.
Okay, that's Afro Elite slide. I'm gonna try to fast forward it because he's trying to find it, the exact part. I have it. So fair use, in effect, fair use.
Economically speaking, reparations are for the damage done by the New Deal and redlining, because that is where we saw a compounding of the existing inequity from the legacy of slavery, where we drew red lines around Black communities and we said white communities will get home loans and they'll get access to the basic bedrock of wealth in America. And this is the thing that you will be able, this will be your heirloom. And we gave
Fair use.
white America an heirloom that appreciated over time, that people still benefit from today. And we did not give that to African American, Mexican communities, Puerto Rican communities. And so when we talk about investments today, think about reparations as reparations for slavery. But really, economically speaking, reparations are for the damage done by the New Deal and redlining, because that is where we saw. Really, economically speaking.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry if it was low.
Okay.
Oh,
So
she's saying.
you hear that, right?
So
You
she
heard
just
that.
said she overlooking slavery and she want to talk about the New Deal. Girl,
Yes.
the slavery was the foundation. It wouldn't be no New Deal if slavery was not there. How dare? Oh my goodness, that is so terrible. I can't believe
She
her.
lives in New York City. She
Yes.
probably walks past Wall Street every doggone day and knows that the first commodity sold on Wall Street
You need to be
was a
quiet.
Black slave.
Mm-hmm.
So she can go all the way
I
back to
see
the
your question,
Caribbean.
Mary. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just acknowledging because Mary wants clarification. This is Afro Elite's work. I was showing, pulling the receipts, but I always mention AOC in 2019 statement of when she asked who was Black anyway, when one of our journalists asked her about what does she feel for reparations just for Black people, and she said they had to check the infrastructure. Recently, Afro Elite pulled more context to it, right, to her statement, and this is his work on his channel. You could find it in the mark is at the 1:30, I'm gonna say 1 hour and 35 second mark. Hi, IGZ. Yes, she pissed me off too, y'all. So that's why, things get lost in translation. My mind doesn't remember verbatim everything. I used to have a very sharp memory, and so I'm glad that I was able to pull the meeting up. No, interview. It's interviews, y'all. Up for y'all, but if y'all go over there, remember, Afro Elite's live. Let me see when it was. What are they saying 4 hours ago? It had to be one of his most recent. I would go to his second to last one. It's going to say forced DNC propaganda isn't going to work. So you'll find it at the 1 hour and 35 second mark.
So this is definitely that website that you gave us. We need to confront her, tell about this. And then that meeting that you said she was having, she had that already, right? So is this some of the stuff she said at that meeting, or this is from something totally different?
It's from interviews from the past. It had to be around 2019.
Okay. Have you
right?
heard any? Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
Have
but
you-
I've sat in her town hall calls virtually, of course, and she's having another one that will be it's an in-person in Queens, New York. However, it will be streamed to YouTube on her YouTube channel. That's where I'll be watching, even if I'm not online. Um, Facebook. So it'll be Facebook and YouTube. Her virtual town hall call will be streamed live. I'll be peeking in and out to see if she mentions the Black community. But after she got pushed back, I don't feel that she really speaks about us. The DEI Target boycott. I noticed in one of her town hall calls, she said, you know, it was everyday people like me and you that made that a kind of effective, paraphrasing there. However, we do know I see no damn Puerto Ricans where Al Sharpton walked up physically into Target. Like, I literally didn't see it. And I don't know if all them people were Black American, but there were a lot of melanated faces. And I don't like Al Sharpton. And I don't shop at Target. So, hey, I was a
Me
willing
neither.
non-participant. You
I
know
didn't
what
have
I'm
to.
saying?
I don't shop
But
at
my thing
Target.
is, give Black Americans their credit because we are the ones for being the face of boycotts. We institute that. You think AOC would have thought of a boycott? So what I'm finding is she doesn't really mention us by saying the Black community, the Black American community. She damn sure ain't going to say the FBA community. She kind of latches us on to everybody as saying everyday people, things of that nature. Even though we do send her emails, she sends back filibuster responses. And I was kind of happy at first that I got a little response from her office. You know, generic is very important and I want to advocate for you and this and that and that and this. And then that was from her like assistant, you know, her administration, whatever, in her office. And then the next one came where she said basically the same thing. Tell her how she can advocate for us. You know, being a representative of us was very important. So I gave it to more politically educated people, more politically involved people to read. And they was like, she gave you a filibuster BX. And I'm like, oh, you know. So did you see the live, Mary? Were you able to see the live? And I'm about to shut down because I think he's live on YouTube now. So I'm gonna go over there and but we got to stay on course. So one day somebody said, you know, Yvette Clarke is like my nemesis or something. Somebody that I always try to speak on, to call out, just to show you how New York got the way it is. So when we were talking, Keita, and you said there was one, and that Jamaican was there talking about Michigan and Detroit and Flint and stuff, and how FBA isn't talking to him like that. And you were saying, well,
Yeah.
there's one food truck there, they very nice. And I was like, get the nice person out of there. Because I honestly believe that New York is the way it is because we viewed them as marginalized and didn't, even with them doing it from since they first migrated here, since the baby boomer time. But as time goes on, we didn't keep that history alive of how they only sold to their own. And so we looked at them as marginalized like us. They, you know, they may have achieved certain things, but we thought, well, I'm saying me. I thought it was just, you know, hard work and merit. I didn't know they was up here in the government doing this and that and voting no and getting things specifically for them. It's a whole new world for me now. My eyes are open like, dang, especially being in New York, you could socialize more with one demographic than the other. Never went to school with an African, but I always went to school with like Puerto Ricans, Caribbean, and Black Americans, right? And when I went to high school, it was predominantly white tea school because I went to Catholic school. So they really wasn't teaching no Black history and stuff there. Everything that I learned, a lot of things that I learned besides slavery happened and you came from Africa and Rosa Parks and MLK, I had to literally learn on my own. And I want to thank the elders of Facebook for what I didn't learn on my own or from my parents. They gave me the real history as it pertains to the South. Alligator bait, I never knew about that until I got on Facebook. Facebook had the best history groups that people be like, relax, oh my God, you know so much. And I'd be like, I literally had to learn it on my own. They wasn't teaching a lot of stuff beyond what was acceptable or what they thought was nonviolent. I don't think they really, parts of Harlem, of course. But if you're in Catholic school, they really wasn't teaching about Malcolm X and stuff like that. But that's where community elders come in. So as we continue with Black History, please remember that Black History does not fit into a month. It's our month, however, Black History is 365 days of the year for a lifetime, right? I don't know how many days that is, but I do have National Black History 365 spotlights. The last one about the Black codes that I just shared is on there. I got to get back on my business because I'm going to continue past February, and I hope you all do the same. But where should we meet? You're going to watch it? Yeah, on YouTube, her town hall call. So this here, my live, I ain't letting no Tezers in the room. You won't find Wade floating through my room. I
As you
can't deal
should
with him.
not.
We
Right.
need tether-free zones by ethnics. For the most part, will be on code, or they will be here to learn or ask questions, so that we could plant the seed to nurture them too. Because sometimes for everybody, it's a lack of knowledge, lack of education. So that's what my platform is. Sometimes I do get frustrated and tired, and I like to remain a mod on other things. I think that's my niche too. So I don't have a set schedule of when I'll go live. It'll either be around this time or early morning, and y'all are all free to come through. And this is also a event session. You could come up here and be like, these motherfuckers. As long as we keep it TikTok friendly, everybody is welcome to come and partake in the FBA safe space echo chamber. I keep an echo chamber, y'all.
Flat out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I want to thank everybody for coming, gifting, and participating. And so I will see you on the next panel where I will cut up or something. Any last words, Keita?
No. I'm just glad to be able to be up here listening to you per usual. So much obliged. That's it.
Thank you. I've been seeing your photos, girl. You are sizzling. I'm kind of old, so I don't know the word. And my oldest son be like, you don't need to talk like that anyway. When I say, what's the new slang word? You don't need to talk like that anyway. So you are hot.
Thank you, boo. I appreciate you. Sizzling is good for me.
Okay.
All right.
Hey.
See you
Yeah,
later.
love you. Okay, no problem.
Bye.
Bye-bye. The Black American House. Any final words for the panel, at least?
No, no.
Well, dang. Okay, just throw it all off. I thought you was gonna have something to say, but no. Thank you for your contribution to today's discussion. So, with that said, because I'll keep you here all night just saying goodbye. You know them old folks that be like, "All right, baby, but did you know Miss Jones was saying this?" So I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna just say. Oh, IGZ tonight, I believe 6:30 is hosting his first panel. Y'all go over there and support your boy. He's also from New York, or your man, your black man, because he's also from New York. So with that said, see you later, Easy Does It. Peace, love, light, reparations to my foundational Black Americans or anyone of the lineage who could identify as such. I love us for real. Be one, family.
Be one.
Be one.